let's say the economy recovers next year. Are there any lessons that have been learned from the pandemic and that surge, or is the US logistics system, is it in a slightly better place to cope with surges, or is it going in that direction, do you think?
That's a great question. Um, Honestly, it's something I've been thinking about a lot, right? On a personal note, when you're a journalist watching these things, you cover a story for so long and so deeply and in such detail, and then it disappears. And then people just stop talking about it, right? And you wonder what's going to happen. And so the optimistic part of me says yes. I want to say yes. We will be in a better position because I think we learned a lot from the pandemic, not just people in the business, but as a society. I think stakeholders in the supply chain saw how every bit of infrastructure that we rely on to move goods, whether that's ships, ports, warehouses, trucks, or even chassis, was fully occupied, fully utilized. And I know that seeing that, many people who genuinely care about solving problems came up with really interesting solutions that I expect will continue to be tested even after the pandemic. I mean, FedEx Logistics started selling space on their empty containers because there was not enough space, on the average shipping line. So they kind of started to do a little side hustle there. I saw companies like Lowe's and Big Lots starting to come up with new concepts for warehouses that allowed them to send goods to alternate locations and then at the warehouse start rerouting them rather than send all the goods where they belonged in the first place, right? They call these pop-up warehouses, or I think one of them even called it like congestion bypass service, right? Or a warehouse, right? And so all of these things are solutions that came up that I don't think companies will forget. If this happens again, we'll be faster to kind of come up. And you also saw a massive injection of capital, both from the private sector, right, from regulators and venture capital into some of these solutions that might help bring the next big thing. So somewhere in that, yes, I hope we're moving in the right direction. But the skeptic in me wonders if we're moving fast enough, right? Part of the reason that things got so bad so fast in the pandemic is that people had been talking about fixing the supply chain for a really, really, really long time. But it's really hard to get people on the same page about how, when, and where. I have a few examples, but I'll stop there. We'll see where this goes.